soon is it going to be before you're done? Because on several occasions, it's almost like you're alluding to you only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game.
Will Tank Davis make the necessary adjustments to defeat Lamont Roach in the rematch? Or is this a case of a fighter having another fighter's number? We can go back in the history of boxing.
This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis.
Stephen A. Smith urges Gervonta Davis to retire now, warning him about the risks of facing Lamont Roach in a rematch. Despite Davis previously hinting at retirement, he's yet to follow through. Smith believes the time is right, emphasizing that Davis should protect his legacy and prioritize his health.
You only have but so many fights left. You're looking to walk away from the game. How close are you to that, being undefeated and unblemished with some big fights out there for you to get?
It's close for sure. It just I don't know. It's a little draining. I just want to step back for a little bit and just focus on me personally. You know, I feel like I've been doing this for some time now, and I just want to give myself a break and focus on just me as a human being, me as a father, me as a son, and things like that, and that nature.
Stephen A. Smith pointed out that Gervonta Davis wants this rematch to prove himself and silence critics after their first fight. While Davis still has other options before retiring, choosing to face Lamont Roach again shows how serious he is about protecting his legacy. Davis clearly wants to clear any doubts from their previous bout and is determined to settle the score by stepping back into the ring.
Undefeated who gets in a fight like that finds himself with a majority draw, with people questioning whether or not he legitimately won. It's usually the promoters and the audience that's calling for a rematch. Gervonta Davis, who had been alluding to retirement, immediately said, let's do it again. Let's get it going. No problem at all. I give him credit for that. Because guess what? I wanted to see Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. I wanted to see him against Vitaly Lomachenko. I wanted to see him against Ryan Garcia in a rematch. I wanted to see him against Teofimo Lopez. Ladies and gentlemen, none of them deserved a shot ahead of a rematch for Lamont Roach. None of them. And check out Lamont Roach's tweets. I don't know. He said, F you mean pushing my contract already signed and set for the immediate rematch because you put that in there just in case you lost. Only reason we don't fight is because you scared. Gervonta Davis comes back 2 hours later and say no more. I'm pushing for the rematch. This is what we love when it comes to boxing. This is what we love to see.
The buzz around the upcoming rematch between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach has stirred massive excitement among boxing fans worldwide. Scheduled for a possible date in August, this bout has already become one of the most interested events of the year. Their first encounter left fans with more questions than answers, and now everyone is eager to see how things unfold when both fighters step into the ring again. Discussions across social media, sports shows, and fan communities have exploded with predictions, debates, and passionate commentary, turning the rematch into a can't-miss showdown.
What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JB Sports, back again with another one. We got a date that Tank Davis and Lamont Roach will be fighting on. We don't have a venue, we don't have a location, but I do have a date. The fight is now being penciled in to take place on August 16th. So as we know, the original date was supposed to be July the 19th. I think the day before that, man, that's not even the original date. That's probably the second to the original date. I think the original date actually was supposed to be maybe in May. But then it got pushed back to, I don't know, man. Whatever the case is, man, this fight has been rumored to take place on 2 previous dates, but now it's being penciled in to take place on August 16th. It's going down in the summer of 2025. Tank Davis will be looking looking to get the win over Lamont Roach. Unlike the first fight, which I thought he lost.
Stephen A. Smith, known for his blunt and insightful sports takes, didn't hold back when discussing Lamont Roach's performance in the first fight. He praised Roach for showing immense focus and composure throughout the match. According to Smith, Roach did something no one had ever done before, forcing Gervonta Davis to take a knee. That moment alone marked a shift in how fans and analysts view Roach. Smith highlighted how impressive it was to see a fighter who many counted out come forward with such confidence and deliver a statement like that against someone as feared as Tank.
What I didn't know is that once Lamont Roach stepped into the ring, he would be the bigger fighter. What I didn't know is that once he was in the ring and he looked like the bigger fighter, he fought like the bigger fighter because, ladies and gentlemen, from opening bell, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Walked right to him and stayed in his face all night long. If he backed up at all, ladies and gentlemen, it was 5% of the time. The other 95% of the time, he walked right to Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis caught him with some good shots. He took it and then gave it back. Body punches, counter punching, left hook, straight rights. This brother Lamont Roach can fight. And he's beautiful defensively as well. And seemed completely unfazed and undeterred by Tank Davis, a knockout artist.
Roy Jones Jr., one of boxing's greatest minds, shared his thoughts on Lamont Roach's evolution as a fighter. He made it clear that Roach has never lacked the skills. It's just that the world hadn't paid enough attention. Jones has followed Roach for years and said his performance against Davis was simply a reminder of what he's always known. Roach belongs among the elites. Jones also cautioned anyone thinking Roach was a fluke, saying his technical skills, timing, and fight IQ were all top tier, and his showing against Tank only confirmed that long-held belief.
A great, formidable opponent. Tomorrow, Tank gonna test his Tank and see how good he is in the late round.
Presumably, Tank is supposed to, win this fight. This is a fight that there's not a lot of doubt about him coming out victorious in. So the talk shifts, and we got to know, Roy, from your perspective, Tank Shakur. When you think about that fight being a potential fight this year, how do you see it going?
I ain't gonna really think about that yet because I'm waiting after he finishes his fight with Roach. Roach is not just your average everyday opponent. Roach is a person who knows Tank, who's been around Tank his whole life. This is a different fight. You can't put Roach to the side like that. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not saying that he's gonna win the fight. I don't know that, but Roach cannot be this underrated like that. You understand? You gotta understand that Roach came from basically the same ecosystem as Tank came from. Roach is a very formidable opponent. So I'm not gonna talk about none of that till we get by Roach. Because what I'm telling you about the other stuff don't really mean nothing right now.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this did happen.
I'm feeling good always. How you doing?
I'm always here. You're a special fighter. Tank's a special fighter. What do you like about him? What makes him different?
I like that when Tank come to fight, Tank come to knock you out. Tank don't come to just beat you by decision. He come to take you out. He come to try to get the job done best way he can. And he loves to come there and entertain the fans. He's not there to play around. He's trying to smoke you. And that's what life's supposed to be about.
Observers have picked up on a series of psychological tactics employed by Gervonta Davis in the lead-up to the rematch. From cryptic social media posts to subtle jabs in interviews, Tank appears to be using mind games to gain an edge before they even step in the ring. Fans and analysts believe these tactics are meant to shake Roach's focus and confidence.
Lamont is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
We signed still with the
Y'all Tank play so many head games, it's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off and then sign the contract like, all right, we got to fight when? June. Oh, shit! Let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks, and he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama, which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
In preparation for the rematch, Gervonta Davis has made a major change to his corner by bringing in a new trainer. This decision has sparked speculation among fans about whether Tank is trying to reinvent his strategy or correct mistakes from the previous fight. The new coach brings a fresh perspective and may focus on refining Davis's defense, timing, and pacing, which were questioned in the earlier bout. This move suggests that Davis is taking the rematch seriously and is looking to address key areas where Roach may have outperformed him.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Kevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or is he adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
Coach Bernie didn't sugarcoat his opinion on Davis's performance. He openly criticized Tank for not showing the same hunger and heart that Roach displayed. According to Bernie, Davis looked like a fighter who just wanted to survive the rounds rather than dominate. In contrast, Roach came in swinging, treating every round like it could decide the fight. Bernie emphasized that a champion of Tank's caliber should have delivered a defining performance, but instead, he left the crowd questioning whether he still had the fire in him.
Documentary, but he did good. Lamont Roach, but only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feel good to hear everybody say that, but when you go watch the fight and you realize, I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't good.
So, you talked about the takeaways of how Lamont could be better in the rematch. And you're the second person that alluded to that. Tell me, what do you see in Lamont in the rematch that he could be more successful? And not and also Tank, he added Barry, into the lead position. I don't know if do you feel like if that had anything to do with the directioning of it? Because we did hear in the post press conference too, Tank saying that he could have pushed the gas more. He should have, he said. So what's your take on that?
Exactly. He's a champion. He got to defend his title. He like I said, they both was looking at each other. And then finally, after Tank will be the one to throw the first punch. He felt like he wanted to retain his title. Lamont Roach felt like he was just happy to be there and get the success.
Lamont Roach is more motivated than ever as he prepares for the rematch. He believes the first fight didn't settle things clearly, and that too many fans and critics still doubt his capabilities. Roach has stated that he plans to leave no room for confusion this time. His training camp is expected to be intense, with a focus on both conditioning and tactical refinement. Roach knows what's at stake and is determined to rise above the controversy by making an undeniable statement in the ring.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I can secure a victory over a pound for pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Rapper and boxing fan Sauce Walka has made his stance crystal clear. He believes Lamont Roach won the first fight. According to him, Roach's execution, movement, and ring control were far superior to Tank's. Sauce Walka said that real boxing heads, those who study the sport closely, could see Roach's dominance even if the judges didn't agree. He believes this rematch is Tank's chance to prove he still deserves the spotlight, because in his view, Roach already proved himself the better boxer that night.
Do you think that they should have counted that point against him? Do you think Lamont Roach won, or do you think it wasn't enough?
It could be considered a rightful draw, but I also lean towards that Lamont Roach won that fight. I believe he won the fight simply because he outclassed the champ. In boxing, you have to do two things to beat the champ. You either got to knock out the champ or completely outclass the champ. But you have to beat the champ. You're not going to just get the win because you survived or you put up a good fight. Bro lost that fight.
Facts.
Like when you really, really know boxing and know boxing for what it really, really is, Tank lost that fight. No matter how much people, emotions and feelings are attached to it, because Tank is a hero of the hood. The ghetto love Tank, Gervonta Davis has been crowned king. My personal opinion, I don't think he should take the rematch, and I think he's already done what you just said. I think off of what he's already accomplished with the draw, he's already in a life-changing situation to where he could change every person around his life forever. He's now what's called a prize fighter, guaranteed. He's now what's also called a A-side fighter right now. But if he does what I like to call the Deontay Wilder and chase the legacy of getting the win, because you thinking from more of 100% on the boxing aspect than the business aspect, which Gervonta Davis has clearly showed everybody, the larger amount of his success is from the business module of the way he does boxing that was being gifted to him through Mayweather and Mayweather Promotions and PBC. But at the end of the day, so and what? That's what he's supposed to do. I'm not mad at Gervonta Davis for that.
Veteran trainer Jeff Mayweather offered a detailed analysis of the initial clash and was candid in his assessment. As someone who has long supported Tank, he was taken aback by how much Davis struggled. Jeff noted that Roach seemed busier throughout the fight, throwing and landing more punches while maintaining a consistent pace. Though Davis had his moments, Jeff admitted that based on volume and control, Roach might have edged it. His comments added credibility to the ongoing debate about who really won the first matchup.
First decision I think I might have ever seen. I don't know how that's not a knockdown. But anyway, thoughts on the overall fight first, Jeff?
I think that it was a good fight on both sides, and I do think that Roach actually won the fight. I thought he outworked Tank. I thought that he threw more punches than Tank. It seemed like Tank was fighting like he always do. It just seemed like he was just waiting for him to figure out whoever was in front of him like he always do and then go to work. But this time when he went to work, the guy went to work back. So, I mean, he had somebody that was firing back at him. It's the same way.
Yeah. I think the commentators and most of us at home thought, kind of the same thing. You thought Roach would bank some of those early rounds to prepare for the onslaught later. And when it didn't really happen, it was pretty even. We said, well, this is going to be a one-sided fight. But yeah, it never happened. And Roach, through the latter half of the fight, actually seemed to do better than the first half.
I thought he did good pretty much all the way through the fight. I mean, there was a few rounds where he didn't do that well, but I mean, I thought he won the fight clearly. I mean, I didn't see Gervonta really the Gervonta that I know. I mean, I'm a big Gervonta fan, but I didn't see none of the Gervonta that I'm used to seeing.
Why do you think that is? Roach was pretty lightly valued coming into the fight, moving up a weight class. It's not somebody that they expected to give him a huge challenge. What do you think it was that Roach presented to Tank that made it so difficult for him?
The one thing is that he fought at the right distance, and he let his hands go, and that's the most important part. That's how you win a fight, by letting your hands go. I mean, Gervonta was sitting back, waiting like he normally does, and then all of a sudden he finishes him. He always finishes opponents, but this time it didn't happen.
Stephen A. Smith, never afraid to admit when he's wrong, confessed that he misjudged Lamont Roach. He initially doubted Roach because of his smaller frame, assuming he'd be overpowered by Tank, but the fight told a different story. Roach fought like a man possessed, absorbing Davis's power shots and returning fire with even more aggression. Smith said it was clear by the third round that Roach was not only holding his own, but often dictating the fight. According to him, Roach earned everyone's respect that night. Shakur Stevenson brought technical insight to the discussion, breaking down Roach's strategy with the eye of someone who's been in the ring with him. He said Roach's game plan was sharp from start to finish, and that his defense in particular stood out. Having sparred with Roach before, Stevenson knew he had what it takes. That's why he bet on him to win. While Tank's speed and power are undeniable, Stevenson highlighted how Roach's timing and footwork took away much of Tank's usual advantage, making the fight far closer than many expected.
What do you think, considering you were one of the handful of people to pick Lamont Roach, giving him a tough fight? What do you see the rematch?
I think it's dangerous for him to go back in there and fight Lamont. I think Lamont is a hell of a fighter. I can see that going left. So he better be on his A game.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
I think you were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight.
And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff. I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his career. So
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.